Hey guys, welcome to Love, Life, and Politics, where I, your host, Nick, talks about love, life, and mostly politics. Like usual, I got three things I want to kind of talk about what happened this week. And first off, I'm going to start doing something a little different. I really want to tell my viewers, tell the people who listen to me, where I like to get my news from in every episode so they can either mimic it or tweak it or figure it out to a good balance for themselves, because not everybody's going to listen to the same people. So on my conservative side, I listen to Steven Crowder. Steven Crowder is the guy that it's a late night talk show host, but has a lot of information. He fact checks. He always shows his sources. That's my conservative side. The middle of the road person that I kind of listen to would be Tim Pool. Guy is amazing. He is a liberal, but kind of libertarian, but doesn't know where he's at. So I kind of put him in the middle in terms of that. But the guy's really factual. He has at least 3 videos a day unless he's off. So that's another person. And Sticks Exenhammer 666 is my more liberal leaning side. And he's very factual as well. But the reason I put him on the more left side, even though he self-proclaims as a libertarian, is he is super anti-religious. So Christians might not be happy with some of the things that he says, but he definitely goes straight for the facts and just put it the way it is. And just honorable mention that I would put The Hills Rising. There's a conservative host and a liberal host, but I think that conservative on that show is pretty left in my opinion. But anyways, let's get to the things that I really want to talk about. So the 3 things that I really want to touch on today will be the Joe Biden accusation, the hypocrisy on the left. Second thing would be Flagrant 2 and one of the co-hosts, Akash, and his stance on Trump and racism. And last is the economy opening back up. So without further ado, let's talk. First thing I really want to talk about is Joe Biden. That's probably going to be the biggest thing of the week in terms of conservative circles, and starting to do so in the liberal circles. So first things first, he's being accused by a woman named Tara Reid and of sexual harassment back when she worked for him. She complained about it. She tried to file a report. I think she did actually follow a report, but she ended up losing her job instead of them doing anything about it. And a lot of evidence has come up. Apparently her mom phoned into a show and then asked a question, Larry King, and that ended up matching up. A lot of people that she said she told the information to, told what happened to her to, ended up backing her up. And the bigger thing that really pops up because of this accusation is how differently the media has treated this versus how they treated Kavanaugh. And in terms of just rock hard evidence, there's no way somebody can say that this lady's case is not stronger than Blasey Ford's case. In no way. This person has way more corroborating evidence and way more legitimacy to what she's saying. It's not out the blue. Lots of her story have not been contradicted by the very people that she said should be on her side in terms of proof and evidence. And it's actually really sad and really difficult to try to wrap your brain around, because I've always known that the left is very hypocritical. They will do anything to attack Republicans. And if you don't believe that, then you've been tripping. You haven't been really paying attention. I do know some liberals who are not like that. But if I'm talking about the group as a whole, on average, if you're looking at media on that side, all they do is attack, misrepresent, do everything they can to make Republicans and mostly Trump look bad. But this in particular is just tough. A lot of people like, what's her name? Melissa Milano, who is one of those people that was like a forefront type of person, dressed up, showed up to Kavanaugh's hearing, was like, believe all women, blah, 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 blah. She is now saying, hey, we need to look at the evidence for this. We need to just, innocent until proven guilty, because this is her guy now. She supported Joe Biden, and all of a sudden now her tone has changed. She's no longer looking at it and treating Kavanaugh the same as treating Joe Biden the same way she treated Kavanaugh. It's like, wow, I know you guys are hypocritical, but I would assume that you try to do something a little bit better to conceal it. But no, not just any major people. Something like, shoot, New York Times apparently wrote a piece, and then the campaign, the Biden campaign, told them, hey, can you change this wording a little bit? And it essentially changed the tenor of their article. Like, it's like there was parts of it in there stating, okay, there's lots of video evidence of Joe Biden touching a bit too much, getting a little too comfortable with not just women, but girls and kids. And then they removed it because, they were getting flack for it. And that just the main thing about this is hypocrisy. It really does suck. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, Republicans are being the same way because they were defending Kavanaugh, but now they're all for believing the accuser whenever it's against Biden. Stop, pause, and really think about it for a minute. We were saying innocent until proven guilty, and you guys were vilifying our guy, attacking a man's character, his image, his family. They're having to watch you guys do that to him for a story that you had no evidence for. My gosh, if we did some serious reporting, there's no way that would have blown up to the way it was. You were looking for a way to attack a conservative man that is going to be appointed and has been appointed to the Supreme Court. Bar none, that's exactly what happened. And then now that we are using your standards that you use for our people against you, for you, it's now a problem. Isn't that quite crazy? We would have preferred for you to treat Kavanaugh with respect, actually do reporting. We would not want to do this to Joe Biden. In my humble opinion, 30-year-old accusations, I'm sorry, that's 30 effing years ago. You should have left it back there, and you should have, and for her situation, this one right here is, I can understand kind of the mentality of people on the left for this one, if they're being honest and are treating this the same way they're treating Kavanaugh, because this has way more evidence. This woman tried to go to the authorities, tried to go through the proper channels to get her grievances taken care of, but her Democratic Party, her Democratic establishment, and I'm not going to say it's Democratic because I'm sure this probably happened on both sides of the aisle, they did not take the woman's accusation serious. They cared more about the person in power than the person that was being taken advantage of. I mean, we saw that with Clinton. So I can sympathize with this a whole lot more than even if what's-her-face's accusations were true, but I'm sorry, there's no evidence for it. I do think that women should be listened to. They should go through the proper channels to express, to take care of the people who are doing bad things to women and trying to get them the proper consequences for what they've done. Now, this day and age is way better to do so. It's much easier for you to do that, but at the same time, it's also being used to abuse. You do not say believe all women. That's just not how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to say believe any group entirely. Don't ever say believe all Republicans, believe all Democrats, believe all blacks, believe all whites. Just that's not the way to live your life, because people are wrong. There is no one group that knows it all. We are human and we make mistakes. But at the same time, we live in the USA where you have a constitution. You are innocent until proven guilty. But they flip that completely on its head when a Republican is the one being accused. But as soon as it's a Democrat, all of a sudden, definitely, guys, we should innocent until proven guilty. Let's see more facts come out. Blah, 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 blah. Anyways, more information has come out. And Alyssa Milano apparently has, she's dug in her heels. She's staying firm where she's at, and she's being roasted by people on the other side. Today, actually, this would be Thursday, MSNBC host actually reported on the Biden story, because nobody else has really been reporting on it, because they want to keep it hush so their man can win and beat Trump, even though they didn't really pick the best person to do so. And he's being raked. He's being just attacked because he was willing to just report on what's going on instead of trying to be quiet for his personal beliefs and his side to win. So I definitely got to give that host some respect on that aspect. But that's pretty much it for the Joe Biden accusation. I'm sure more and more stuff's going to come out. A lot of people are hypothesizing that or speculating that this is going to be used to replace him, since the Democratic Party at this point now knows that he's incompetent, but they're incompetent, so they're probably going to keep him. Anyways, second thing I want to talk about is Flagrant 2. Andrew Schultz, and then the co-host is Kash Singh. I don't know how to pronounce his name perfectly. I, in my humble opinion, really enjoy watching them. I think Andrew Schultz is especially after this video, a smart guy, like very smart guy in the way he articulates what he's trying to say. True, just some of the words he uses, how he talks will be off-putting to certain people, which is what they argue is wrong with Trump. But anyways, that's besides the point. He's hilarious. Their show is hilarious, and I like the topics that they choose to talk about and that they're not afraid, because, it's their own show. They're doing their own thing. Anyways, so there was an episode where the co-host Akash, he was talking about how Trump is racist, and how the main premise of this clip, at least, was that cancel culture brings more racism because you push down those feelings, because you're no longer allowed to talk about them and actually converse about them and see why your opinion is wrong, because you can't talk about it at all. And I understand that position from Akash, but then he extrapolated it and used the presidential election of Donald Trump to prove his statement. And I was like, no, bro. And the thing is, a lot of these people will just watch those little clippity clips of what MSNBC or CNN or whoever wants to make sure that Trump looks as bad as possible. They only see those little clips and completely take it out of context and don't have no context of what is actually said in that clip. Just like the good guys on both sides thing from the Charlottesville. They're still using that to this day, when all you need to do is extend that clip by a minute forward and a minute back, and the premise that they're spewing out there completely changes. Because he said there are good people on both sides, but he condemned the white supremacists and all that. He said that when he said good people, was talking about the peaceful protesters on both sides that were saying, hey, listen, I think we need to keep this statue up. And the other people on the other side that were peacefully saying we need to get rid of the statue. We don't like this part of our history. We should completely erase it. That he was saying those people were good, but all those rioting, all those anti-black, anti-this, anti-that, white supremacist people, he condemned fully and completely, and he said it, but nobody plays the full clip, and that's what they use to label him racist. And I think, Akash, you're wrong. You need to put things into perspective and think about what this man has done. Look at his past. Look at who he's put in positions of power in his company. Look who he has hung out with in the past. Like, people who are vilifying him, calling him racist today, he was hanging out with just like black pastors, black leaders, and all that before he was even president. And all of a sudden he's racist. That just makes no sense at all. And he was saying, back to the story, kind of a little bit of rant. He was saying Trump appealed to those people because he was saying, quote unquote, racist stuff that they were low-key feeling deep down, and they voted for him because he was willing to say some of the things that they were not willing to, were not allowed to say, but he didn't care about it. He was just saying it. He was speaking his mind, and he was saying whatever he wanted, and people voted for him because of the low-key racism that he's spitting out. No, bro, just no. The Mexicans' comment was immigration based and valid because the country was not sending us their best. The people who are coming here from those countries are low skilled workers, which means they're competing with our low skilled workers. Why is that just so hard to believe? In fact, liberals used to be about that. They were all for that immigration stuff until they realized, oh shoot, Trump is doing really good with Hispanics right now. Just like the native people who are here Hispanics. And he's starting to gain some traction with blacks as well. His approval rating is going up in the black community. A lot of major black people are making movements back to the right because that's where they started. And now they're like, dang, what we need to do is, instead of trying to fight harder and a little bit change your tune maybe on how you speak to communities and how you affect communities, and change the views of the people who are being disenfranchised by you, being disaffected and leaving your party. How about you just, start working harder for them instead of trying to essentially insource voters, because that's what they want to do. Because if you're pro bring everybody in, those people are going to continue to vote for you because you're bringing everybody in and you're going to use them for their votes. That's what you're trying to do. And it's working. My gosh, Texas is being raked, not raped, raked. Literally, people are just flooding into Texas and essentially changing a really solidified red state to a purple state. That's another thing I kind of want to talk about, but that's maybe for another situation. Anyways, that's that. I think you're 100% wrong. And if you believe that Trump is actually racist, how about next time you put it on your show, you actually have full context and fully elaborate and explain why what he said was explicitly racist. Don't give me that, oh, it can be interpreted as racist. That's BS. Stop trying to put interpretations that fit your mindset of a person into what they're saying. That's wrong. I'm sorry. Don't do that. But I love the show. Love the guy. He's not as funny as Andrew, but they're both really funny guys. And honestly, I would recommend anybody watch that Flagrant 2. Hilarious. I don't like the other one he does with Charlemagne because I don't like Charlemagne. And then third thing we want to talk about is the economy opening back up. That's major good news. We are now starting to, is it phase 1 of reopening the economy, and it's well needed. And my sources, one of them majorly being Steven Crowder, has pointed out that we probably should have never shut down to begin with, because of the Cove, because they're now seeing that the actual death rate of this virus is actually comparable or up to 5 times as bad as the regular influenza. And we were projecting 2.5 almost maximum million Americans being killed by this thing, and numbers have just gone down dramatically, and we are now realizing that we were wrong and we definitely overreacted. And all these governors out there that are trying to extend this lockdown, all these governors out there that are continuing to try to attack our constitutional rights, preventing us from gathering, preventing us from saying things, using technological companies like Google and Facebook and YouTube to silence people who may have different opinions and have tended to be more right on this subject than you, is ridiculous. And I think Trump, after he gets reelected, he needs to definitely crack down on big tech and people regulating people's speech. You're either going to be a public forum where people can say what they want as long as within the laws of our nation, and keep it that way, or you're a publisher and should be sued for every single thing that is posted. You can't have it both ways. Stop trying to silence people that you don't like and people that you do not agree with. Simple as that. Anyways, that's what I wanted to talk about. That's the major stuff that I found this week. There wasn't many extras that really came to mind. I think I really touched on all those things. And I'm going to try to start posting some random videos, or yeah, they're technically videos because they're on YouTube, of just random subjects that I really like talking about that are not just on a week-to-week basis. Appreciate you for watching. Got a book. It's called Why I, Young Black Man, Voted for Trump. Please check it out, because I currently don't have any revenue streams from this, and I do want to grow this channel and eventually have actual video, eventually have better quality, better equipment. And I do appreciate anybody that's currently watching and then will watch in the future. I really do appreciate that. Please like, share, and subscribe, and hope you guys have a blessed one. Stay safe.